Alright, so those were some horns that were being played, some new ones that they added in the map pack of the business map pack. They also added some new vehicles, so for um, air travel they added the Vestra, which is 950 grand, which is quite a bit. I definitely don't have enough for that, so let's move on to the sports cars. So for the sports we have Jester and Alpha, and for the Super we have the Turismo R. The Jester is 240 grand, Turismo is 500 grand, and the Alpha is 150 grand. The Turismo is really good. It's almost as good as the Adder and the Entity, and it's cheaper than all of them. So I would suggest getting the Turismo. The other two sports cars, if anything, I'd get the Jester over the Alpha. But they also added some new emotes like Blow Kiss, Doc, and cracking your knuckles. So this is the first race, which is business trip, and I decided to use the Turismo. So this is the longer race out of the 4 races. I am showcasing all 4 races in this video, so so if you want to stick, you can just stick and watch all these. You can, but this is like my main focus, which is these 4 races. So this is the longer one out of all 4 of them, but it's still a really good one. However, the reward you get, you don't get too much money. You only get about like 5 grand if you come in first. But that definitely varies if there's more people. Since you can race with 16 people on this map, the more people, the more money you get. But when you're racing with 5 people, you get about 5 grand. So I'd say around like 13 grand if you're racing with 16 people, which is okay, but that's if you come in first. If you don't come in first, then you get a pretty terrible reward. The race lasts around like 3 minutes, so that is a bit difficult to come in first. You have to have a lot of luck on your side, and the longer the race is, the harder it is to come in first, unless you know you're only racing with a few people. But if you're racing with a few people, then you don't get as much money. So you can see I'm battling it out with this Alan guy, and yeah, so I won't spoil it, but I do come in a pretty nice place for this race. So I'll go ahead and just stop talking so you guys can watch the rest of this race, and then I'll move on to the next one and talk about that. Oh, before I go, I want to talk about the Turismo. So this car is it's a really good supercar, except for the fact that the turning isn't the best. I don't know if it's maybe the catch-up that makes me go really fast on turns for this car, but the turning is not the best. It could be a lot better. Like the Adder and the Entity have a lot better turning when you're going at really high speeds. So although it is really a lot cheaper, I would rather get the Entity over the Turismo. As you can see, that was kind of difficult right there, that turn. I was turning as sharp as I could. Same as here, it's pretty hard to turn with the Turismo for whatever reason. Alright, this is the city Commute. It's a little bit shorter, and I decided to use the Alpha. So I'm showcasing the Alpha in this race. This race is, I'd say, a lot better than the other race, Business Trip. This one is a lot better because it's shorter, but you get a larger reward for money. So if I were you, I would race on this one. However, I would want to turn traffic off, because as you can see, everyone else is just completely failing. So you don't want to be that one guy who just like hits every car and comes in last. But if you come in first, you get a pretty big reward. So this is a great race. So I want to talk about the Alpha. Um, This is about 100 grand cheaper than the Jester, but it is considered a sports car. The Jester and the Alpha are sports, and the Turismo is the super. So the Alpha is okay at drifting if you're a drifter. I tend to drift for whatever reason, but I like the design of it. The Jester, you'll see later on, it is a little bit more slick, but the Alpha is like more bulkier and heavier, which definitely keeps you from getting banged over and banged up by other people. Compared to the Jester is way too light and just easily you're easily able to get knocked over. But the Alpha, it goes fast enough. It goes fast as all the other sports cars, and it's about 100 grand cheaper than the Jester. So if you wanted to buy a sports car, I would prefer the Alpha over the Jester. I mean, a lot of people would say that the Jester's design is a lot better, but I really like this Alpha, the Alpha's design. So this is just my opinion. I just want to get this out. But this is a really good race. This is a little bit shorter than the business trip, and this is the second longest race out of all of them. And I decided to do one lap, but you can do more laps. This is a continuous, as opposed to the other map, which is only a point to point. This is, you can race with different laps. So loading now. Alright, this is the first corporation. Now this, out of all four of the maps, is the best, in my opinion. I am using the Turismo again, but you will see me using the Jester on the last map. But in my opinion, this is the best map. It's the smallest, but you can go with like 8 laps and it will still only take about like 6 minutes. And the more laps, the more money you get. And this map gives you a really big reward for money-wise, especially because you can hold up to 16 players. Because on the business trip and the other map that is coming up can only hold 8 players, while this map and the map that you just saw, I believe it was, man, I can't think of it. I'll put it up on the on the screen. I don't know why I can't think of it. Either way, this map is the smallest, as I was saying, and you get a whole bunch of money. And since you can hold up to 16 players, you can have a blast because it's such a small map. You can, lap people. That guy tried to hit me right there, which was a bit disappointing, but luckily he couldn't. And yeah, so it's easy to catch up to other people, because if you do the turns correctly, everyone else will fail. So if you're in dead last, you can easily get your way back up in the ranks. So this is probably the best map out of all 4 of them, in my opinion. But if you have a big lead and you know what you're doing on this map, you're going to keep that lead, because catch-up really does nothing on this map because there's so many turns, so you can't accelerate and speed up nearly as fast as you could if it was a straightaway. This is like the only straightaway you get. The rest are all turns. So I mean, if you're in last and you're really good at the turns, then you'll go up in ranks because not nearly as many people will know the maps because they're new. But if you're in first and you know all the turns, then that's in your favor, and you keep front running. Right there, I just got smacked, which probably led me to not come in first. Sorry for the spoilers, but yeah, so I am making this all up on the spot. Like I don't have like a notepad or anything, so there might be like some pauses that I've definitely come across. But I'm trying to just like think of all this stuff on the top of my head and you know I've been racing in these races the past day, so I do have some analysis on each race. So this, I believe this is the end of this race, and I'll go ahead and jump to the next one. Alright, so we are moving on to Hwange Park. So I'm using the Jester on this one. This is the third longest out of the four, but it is a continuous, so you can have more than one lap, which is really good. However, you can only have 8 people on this map, so it's kind of bad there because the less people you have, the less money you get. But the more laps you have, the more money you get. So it kind of cancels out. Either way, I was testing out the Jester while doing these races, and it's really good for drifting. All I did this race was drifting, and I still kept my first place because I knew all the turns. So this applies just like the first corporation. Like there's so many turns that catch up really isn't going to do much on this map. So even with my drifting, even with that slowing me down a bit, I still am able to stay up front. But like I said, the Jester has a really slick design, as you can see, but it's really light, and you're easily able to be thrown around by others. So that's why I like the Alpha, but the Jester is slightly faster than the Alpha, and but I mean, if you're going to be getting thrown around all the time, then I'd rather have the Alpha a little bit bulkier, and they're almost the same speeds. The Jester is just a little faster, but yeah, so I had really fun with all these races and this new pack download DLC. So you know, I'm having a blast making this video. But if you guys have any like suggestions on what other videos I should make, please let me know because I am at a loss for what to make. Anyways, looks like this is gonna be the end, and my main focus on this video was just the races and the new cars. I was able to showcase all of them, but yeah. So I'll see you guys later, and yeah. Oh.
He just went flying, dude. Just instantly paused it and left. I saw it on the map.
All the girls in this game look almost the same.
Yeah.
Take that best lap.